Paraphrasing skills is a pivotal skill that university students should have. Most of university students will always deal with writing, be it writing an essay, assignments, paper, and maybe a research paper. In this video, I would like to share with you on how to do paraphrasing. I will also later provide you with the tips and strategies to increase and make you aware on how to do paraphrasing. Why paraphrasing is important? Paraphrasing is important because we need to avoid any practices of plagiarism. What is meant by plagiarism is that when we try to take other people's opinion without any clear citation or without referring to the original text, or simply we just copy and paste into our paper. If we do that, it means we have committed a serious crime in academic. Okay, let's begin with the code of CAC in 2006. So, CAC said that paraphrasing is considered by many scholars, many people, as an important skill for academic writing. And some scholars also argued that the teaching of paraphrasing might help students avoid copying from source text. The latest part, it means it will be helpful for students to avoid any practice of plagiarism, be it intended or unintended. So, CAC therefore stipulated several criteria of paraphrasing, from near copy, minimal revision, moderate revision, and substantial revision. So have a look at this example. We have the text comparable worth, the notion that different jobs can be rated equal and paid equally. So in the first part, you will see the example that this paraphrased version is nearly the copied version. If you write, for example, comparable worth is an idea that different jobs can be rated equal and paid equally. It is almost 50% the same as the original excerpt. Have a look at the bold sentences, in the bold phrases and words. So those words appear also in the original excerpt. Now have a look at the second minimal revision version. Comparable worth is an idea that different jobs can be rated equal by set of standards and be paid equally. In this part, the writer have modified a few of words and still keep the original meaning. Okay. However, there are also some words that remain the same as its original. You can have a look at both words and phrases. Now have a look at the third part. It is considered as a moderate revision, which is below 20% of the word contained in unique links as the original one. So you might write, or the writer writes, comparable worth is the idea that various jobs can be ranked equally and therefore should be paid equally. Okay, so you see that there is a minimal version of the words that are bold in the third version. And then if you go to the last example, which is substantial revision, you will see that the writer writes, this article discusses the concept of comparable worth, a concept set on balancing out wages for all workers on the same job level, So you see that this last example is the most expected paraphrase version of yours. So in your copy, it means that you may try to change the word but not effectively change it. We'll later practice in the following slide. Now have a look at this example. If, for example, we have this text, to paraphrase is to include the ideas of or information from an original text in your paper by changing the language features with your own words while keeping the meaning. So I take it from the internet source, and there is no author, so let's try to name it for this occasion only, on this purpose only, as if the writer is Zaki, and we assume that this article is published in 2020. So we put the citation as Zaki 2020. Okay. Understand this example, this text, and try to figure out the keywords. So these are the keywords in the example. I have marked it in different color for the keywords. To paraphrase is to include the ideas or information from an original text in your paper by changing the language features with your own words while keeping the meaning. A red color are the keywords, which I think they are important in this text. So by understanding the keywords, we could later modify those sentences and those ideas. Now have a look at the example. So for example, you are going to use the synonym strategy. You will write, for instance, paraphrasing is to use notion or information from original text in your paper by changing the language feature using your own word while maintaining the meaning. Okay, let's compare this original version and the paraphrase version. To paraphrase is later changed into paraphrasing. So you change from to infinitive to gerund form. And to include, you use to use. Notion is changed into the synonym of ideas. However, we also still find several the same word. For example, changing language features and using your own word. Okay. So this example is closely linked and related to the original one, which is not that different in terms of language use. We know that language features is one of the keywords appear in the example. Also the word keep. If we talk about language features, it means we are going to also talk about the structure of the language or the grammar of the language. So we can use this understanding to change language feature with structure or grammar. We can also use the synonym of keep. For instance, we can use maintain. Now have a look at this example, which we think it is acceptable. To paraphrase means to make use of ideas or information from original source by modifying the structure or grammar using your own word while maintaining the meaning similar. You can modify to paraphrase with paraphrasing, and the rest is the same. So here are the alternatives of the previous example. First, you could, for instance, say to paraphrase is mean to maintain original meaning using your own word despite changing the language feature. In paraphrasing, the meaning is maintained through the use of your own words, although you modify the structure and grammar of the language. In the second part, you use different construction of the language from active to passive. Changing the structure and the grammar of original source by maintaining the meaning to be included in your paper is a paraphrasing. So in the third example, you try to strand it. You change the paraphrasing and you change the head as changing the structure, the activity is an important part of your sentence and text. So these are the alternative. You could also say, for instance, Zaki 2020 argues, claims, states that blah blah blah, and using your own paraphrasing. So to paraphrase does not necessarily to change the word with its synonyms. It means that you take others' opinion, others' notion, others' idea because you think those ideas are important to be included in your claims when you write your paper. To practice and study more on how to paraphrase, here are the links. You could use YouTube, or you can use the olr.purdue.edu, which provides you information on how to paraphrase, to synthesize, summarize, and also citation. Thank you for watching, and good luck.